Mhm. Oh, yes. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Done.
I made a decision. I opened up a spice shop. I decided one day I was tired of my day job. I needed something different. I needed to touch my passions and have fun in my life again. And spices was always making me happy. And thus, I started my own business. This is now my third shop. I have two in California and one in Montreal, and it's growing every day, thinking of opening more because I like spicing up people's lives. Makes them happy too. When they're happy, I'm happy. You can't have anything better in your life. So make a decision, have a commitment, and decide on your own. If you want to do something in your life that's going to bring you happiness, no one's going to do it for you. You're going to have to do it for yourself.
I made a decision. 2003, with the help of my family and my friends, people close to me, I decided to get clean. And it was the greatest and most momentous decision that I've made in my life. Subsequently, I've gotten my art career back on track. I own my own home. I'm married. And I don't know, I can't think of anything more productive or positive that I've ever done. I'm living the life now. I'm walking the walk. Before I could hide in the clouds and mask myself and bullshit. And now this is the truth. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. I mean, it's still a fight every day, and I gotta watch myself. I gotta keep myself in check. I gotta keep that voice at bay. And it'll be, worth every penny at the end of my years if I can look back. And one time a fortune teller told me that at this point in my hand, my lifeline was broken. She said, because so are you. And at this point, you're either going to make a decision for the later part of your life to accentuate it or to destroy yourself. And when I was in rehab, I remembered that story. And I wish I knew where that lady was today. And I wish I could tell her she was right and that I was wrong.
I made a decision to become a journalist. I'm 17 years old, just came out of high school, and I've been motivated and passionate about journalism since I'm 12, literally. And that all started out when I moved in 7 years ago, and I met my best friend that I still am friends with today, and he's amazing. He brought me into sports, but I've always liked sports. He just brought me more into it, more like the factual stuff, the technique, how to analyze, no matter which game it is, soccer, hockey, football, just show me how. And since then, I'm always watching, every night I'm in front of my TV when I can, and I watch hockey, the Habs. Hockey's my sport. And since then, I was like, I want to do that job. Being a commentator and analyst or broadcasting, I just want to do it. I love it so much. And there's nothing, but nothing that's going to stop me. Not because of my eye, nothing. When you're really motivated about something, nothing stops you. You keep going until you strive to the end, and there's just nothing. When you really love something, you will always love it. And no matter what you'll do, your career will always be around it. Maybe not directly, but around it. And me, journalism is what I like. And it's my passion. So I'm always going to go straight forward to go to the end. And that's why I want to be a journalist.
I made a decision to talk to this gentleman who approached me and mentioned that I look like I'm in good shape. He also asked me, was it easy or implied or tried to imply that it might be easy? And I said, well, it's lucky for me because I don't have a weight problem as such, but I'm conscious of my weight. And I guess I'm vain because when I look in the mirror, I don't want to look fat and sloppy. I'd rather look slim and sloppy. So I watch what I eat. I weigh myself once or twice a day. I try and exercise as much as I can. I play tennis 3 to 4 times a week in the summer, about 3 times a week in the winter. And I'm conscious of what I eat to the point of that I'll look at a wonderful dessert, and I love sweets, and I'll forgive myself occasionally and order one, and maybe indulge in a second dessert if I have to. But the next day I won't eat anything like that. I'll try and get back to my regime of being vain and not wanting to be chubby. My children laugh and say, Dad, why do you do it? And I say, I do it because I don't like looking at people that are overweight. I don't want to ever look overweight. And I think as you get older, it's healthier to be somewhat underweight, not too skinny, but it gives you, I think, a longer life. And I'm very pleased that Mr. Quetta approached me, and hopefully I'll make the cut.
Mon nom est Michel Bayard, and I have made a decision. I have made a decision to change my life. 3 years ago, I have decided to go vegan. For reasons, I wanted to have a healthy lifestyle. Did not want to prolong my life. I am willing to continue on just like everyone else, but I wanted quality of life for what I had. I wanted bike trips. I wanted to be able to work until I died. I did not want to sit down and rest. So this is one of the reasons I have changed my life. Wait, you have to edit because I don't know. I've stopped talking, and you might have to put some other things. It's good to see all of you. Thanks so much for dropping in. I also do pinhole photography, and this is my work. I work with small cameras. I shoot on paper, so I get a paper negative. Contact print paper to paper, the old way, with darkroom. I love Dectol. It is my favorite development. I also sell my work on the streets of New York. That was one of my dreams, is to sell my work on the streets of any country. I have sold in Montreal, I have sold my work in Florence, I have sold my work in Venice. It is what I want.
I made a decision to grow my hair when I realized it was so long that I didn't have the heart to cut it. I stopped cutting and combing my hair in '94. By the time it passed my shoulders, I realized I didn't want to cut it anymore. And here we are 17 years later, and I still have it. And I mean, I'm just too attached to it now to cut it. Maybe one day I'll make the decision to cut it when it starts getting in the way a bit too much. But at this point, I'm too attached to it to cut it, and that's the simple reason why I keep it this long. Yeah, as far as the decision I made, there was no decision to grow it. To initially start growing it, it just happened. but I guess I did make a decision to keep it growing. And I made that decision probably in 97, 98, where it was like, okay, I cut it now, and that's it, or I keep growing it. And I realized I didn't have the heart to cut it, and now I still have it all these years later.
I made a decision 8 years ago to join a dragon boat racing team to become a paddler. And I did it at the time just for stress management. I was anxious. I was afraid of getting some health problems that my mom had. I was 32 years old. I wanted to do something different. So I joined the team, and it was a great sense of community, and it's a cultural sport, and it was very relaxing, and that was great. And then 5 years ago, I continued, and a competitive team was having tryouts, and I thought, well, that's a good challenge. I'll just go with the competitive team and wait for them to kick me off, and that'll be really interesting. And I waited, and they never kicked me off, so I ended up training with this competitive team and getting up to another level. And then the next challenge was to make it onto the A team of that club, which was the best team in Montreal for women. And so 3 years ago, I made it onto that team, and I went to international competitions in Malaysia and in Macau, China. And then last summer, I guess I needed the final challenge and went as high as you can go in dragon boating. I was selected for the national team and went to the World Championships in Tampa, Florida, and raced for Team Canada and saw our flag go up. We won 3 gold medals and 1 silver medal. And we heard the national anthem, and I realized that I guess I'm competitive after all, and I guess now I have to consider myself an athlete.
I made a decision when I was 40 years old to have a change in my life. I was sitting at home reading the paper, and I saw an ad in the paper. Students wanted, mature student program. I thought, that sounds interesting. I was a little bit dissatisfied with my job at the time, and I thought, let's check this out. And so I went to an interview in Vanier College, Montreal. And the guy sat there in his Bermuda shorts, middle of summer, and saying, yeah, we offer a program to older people who want to come back to school. And I had about a 20-minute interview, and in the end I was thinking, this is great, I'd really like to give this a try. So I said to him, you know, I'm really interested in this program you're offering for mature students. And I said, what do I need to do to get in? And he said to me, you're in. And that was it. For me, I showed up a few weeks later, beginning of term, went into class with all these young people thinking, what are they going to think of me? But you know, it was one of the greatest times in my life. I was welcomed by them. I was made to feel at home by them. Nobody ever questioned my age or ever mentioned my age, and yet it stood out a mile. But I was 20 odd years older than most of these guys. But my thinking was this: at the age of 40, what was I going to do for the rest of my life? I wanted to make a change. I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to be at 60, 65, and I'm in between those two ages now. I didn't want to be sitting in the same old job, doing the same old thing, thinking, I should have tried this. So I made that decision, and it worked for me. I went from the college, I did 1 year at college in the social science program, and I had an interesting teacher of theater and dramatic arts. Somebody is familiar to the people in this video, and he helped me along. He enthused me, gave me inspiration, and that led me to do other things. And now I'm a teacher at that same college where I started as a student. And I walked in, and on the first day, lo and behold, I see one of my old teachers. He said, what are you doing here? And I said, well, I'm a teacher. And he said, are you qualified? And I was proud to say I am, because I got my degree at the university, and now I'm a teacher of history in the college. I'm happy to have made that decision, and I say to anyone else who wants to make that decision, go for it. Don't hold back. Because when you're 60, you don't want to have any regrets.
I made a decision. I opened up a spice shop. I decided
I made a
one day I
decision.
was tired of my day job.
2003,
Something different.
I made
to
a
help
decision
my
to
family and my friends.
I made a decision to talk to this gentleman who approached me and mentioned that his request in good shape. He also asked me, was it easy or implied?